Ajacán, the failed missionary, and an alternate timeline if it was successful. In 1561, a Spanish expedition, possibly led by Don Luis de Velasco, arrives in the Chesapeake Bay region. They encounter a Native American youth, Paquino, who was taken to Mexico, baptized as Don Luis de Velasco, and educated in Spain. Fast forward to 1570. On August 5th, Jesuit Vice-Provincial Father Juan Bautista de Segura, along with Father Luis de Quiros, 6 Jesuit brothers, a young Spanish boy named Alonso de Olmos, also known as Aloncito, and Don Luis depart from Havana to establish a mission in Ajacán. By September 10th, the missionary group lands in Ajacán, near present-day Newport News, Virginia, and establishes St. Mary's Mission. They construct a small wooden hut with an adjoining room for Mass. But by February of 1571, Don Luis abandons the mission, returning to his native community. He leads an ambush against the missionaries, resulting in the deaths of all except Alonso de Olmos. On August 28th, a Spanish supply ship arrives at the mission site, discovers the massacre, and rescues Alonso de Olmos. In retaliation, Spanish forces execute several Native Americans, but fail to capture Don Luis. In 1572, Governor Pedro Menéndez de Aviles leads a punitive expedition to Ajacán, aiming to avenge the murdered missionaries and capture Don Luis. While they fail to find Don Luis, they hang several Native Americans believed to be involved in the massacre. Following these events, the Spanish abandoned further missionary efforts in the Chesapeake Bay region. This series of events underscores the challenges faced by early European missionaries in North America and highlights the complex interactions between European settlers and indigenous populations. What if Ajacán was successful? If the Spanish Ajacán mission had been initially successful but later abandoned, the timeline might look something like this. From 1561 to 1570, Paquino, also known as Don Luis de Velasco, is taken to Spain and educated but remains loyal to the Jesuits. In 1570, the Spanish mission at Ajacán is founded successfully near present-day Virginia. The Jesuits establish peaceful relations with the local tribes, teaching agriculture, Christianity, and Spanish customs. Don Luis becomes a key intermediary between the Spanish and the native population. Spanish supply lines remain stable, ensuring the mission's survival. Moving into the 1570s to 1590s, the Spanish build a fortified outpost to protect the mission from potential English or French encroachment. Some local tribes convert to Christianity, adopting European agricultural techniques. Additional Spanish settlers arrive, expanding the colony beyond the original mission. Trade networks form between Spanish Florida, the Ajacán mission, and indigenous communities. By the 1600s, English explorers from Roanoke in 1585, and later Jamestown in 1607 discover the Spanish presence. Rising tensions with expanding English and Powhatan Confederacy pressure the Spanish. Disease and dwindling supplies weaken the mission. Spain, focused on more profitable colonies in the Caribbean and Mexico, decides to withdraw support. In the 1620s to 1630s, Spanish authorities officially abandon Ajacán, relocating the remaining settlers to Florida or Cuba. Some Christianized natives remain, possibly influencing later indigenous Christian traditions in the region. English colonists in Virginia later encounter remnants of Spanish influence, including Catholic artifacts and Spanish-speaking indigenous people. The long-term effects could be significant. The Spanish presence in the Chesapeake might have slowed English expansion. Catholicism could have taken a firmer hold in the mid-Atlantic, possibly influencing the religious landscape. The Spanish might have attempted a later return, setting up conflicts with the English similar to those in Florida.